Thank you for joining back. So in this tutorial we will check further on the S3 practical. So we'll click on the S3 services post login to the AWS console, and if we go to the S3, there is a new option. Just to let you know, if you have not noticed, in the previous session we have a favorite icon against each services tab. If you see here, there is a star which is coming up. So this is a newly added feature in the AWS console where you can select this, then it will be added under the favorites. You don't need to search it again and again. Okay, so if I select this and I can open this, so that is a good feature. So once we click on the S3, we can create a bucket. I have created this bucket in our last slide tutorial. Okay, so let me delete this which was created previously, and we'll create a new one and we'll see how it works. Okay, let me quickly delete it. Success. So now the bucket is empty. So let's add a content in the bucket and we'll see how it does it behave further. So this is the S3 bucket. So I'll quickly add some of the image. I'll click on next, and right now it says public access is not turned on. Okay, so we'll see that as we discussed in the last tutorial. We'll go through it again. I'll select this standard type. So these are the tiering that we discussed in the past based on upon the requirement. We'll keep it selected as 3 standard as of now. Click on next and just upload the document. So we'll start uploading the document, and if you see here it started, the percentage shows the document is being uploaded on the AWS console. Okay, so let it complete. Once this is completed, we'll try to see if it opened or not, and how we can change that. Okay, so we'll check that also. So we are uploading a JPG image file and we'll try to access this over the internet. Okay, so if see, one was my previous document, so it's showing 2, otherwise it is 1 only. It is uploaded now. If I click on this, and this is the object URL. So whatever object that you upload in the S3, it generates a URL. Okay, and URL name would be something like your account name, which is my Navic test, right? The bucket name, and the S3 US East zone, where whatever the zone it is, Amazon zone. So S3 Amazon zone name dot amazonaws.com, and this is the object name, which name is 3837.jpg, my file name. So it start with the bucket name, followed by the S3, followed by the region, and followed by awsamazon.com. So this is the standard format every time for everyone. Okay, so if you open it, right click and open, let's see. You will see access denied because this bucket right now it is not public. How do we know it is not public? If you see, this make public option is also great. So even if I try right now to make it public, I cannot make it public because this earlier this option was there, we have to make it public, but right now it is great. But why it is great, we'll just see what is the change. If you go back to the S3 homepage, okay, where all your bucket and these option, if you see, the first is bucket batch operation, and bottom here if you see here, there is a block public access. If you click here, okay, so it shows that account setting for block public. So for my entire account, the block public access is enabled. So even though I am trying to enable the public access on a specific bucket, it's not allowing me because it's a globally blocked right now. So this is the enhanced feature which has been added by AWS. Past few years it was not there, but now it is added. Earlier it can be controlled only through the inside the bucket, but now they have given a global option where you can globally block this. Once it is blocked, even though you want to enable for a few bucket, you cannot do that, right? So that's a good security feature where you can restrict the entire bucket public access. Okay, which is benefit. So now what we'll do, we'll try to remove this public access enable. I'll just edit it, uncheck this box and save. It asks me to confirm, so we'll have to type here confirm, and once confirm is done, if you see, the public block public access is off now, so there is no restriction of public. So let's go back to our, let me close this older window also. Let's go inside the bucket, open this, and let's see if will it open or not. Can you confirm? Okay, let me open it. If I open, see, still blocked. So despite we have disabled the public block option in the main configuration, right, which was here. Sorry, let me go back to the S3 page. If you go here S3, despite we blocked disable this where it says blocking of publics, which is off right now, I'm still not able to enable I'm not able to open my file in the public. Okay, so what is wrong here is now if you see this file, it is still not public. Okay, global public permission blocking is off, but individually I have to enable whichever my object which are uploaded. For example, the object is a file here. Okay, every file is a object. Whatever you upload is a object, don't forget that. So object is a JPG image which is still not public. So now you see this make public option, it is not grayed anymore, so I can make it public right now. So I just click on make public. If you see one success, quickly run and enable that public. So if I open it, right click this URL of this object, let's see it's open or not. So now if you see the image which I have uploaded in the S3, it is uploading now. And if you see this URL, it is your object bucket name followed by your S3 hyphen your region code and the object name. So it's loading right now. So that's how it works. So we can disable it back again. How do we disable it? Because there is no option to disable it again, the public option. So what we'll do is we'll go to the properties. Okay, here in the permission, if you see here public access, everyone read is yes. So what we'll do is we'll select this, the pop-up will come and you see read object is selected for public. I'll just unselect this, save it. As I save it, we'll go back to overview and we'll try to open, let me close this previous window. We'll try to open it again. If I right click and open it, again it is blocked. So I have disabled we have disabled the public access. So this is how you can control your object which are visible to public or not visible to public. Okay, there are a couple of few items here. Let's go with and understand this as well. If you go to the properties tab, the storage class which we selected, right, standard, infrequent access, glacier, or whatever the option. So whatever we choose, it shows here standard. The encryption tabs tells you what kind of encryption. If you want to enable AES 256 encryption, so we can enable encryption also. Okay, so we can enable it and save it. So that will enable your encryption on this, which is highly recommended for any object that you save. You must encrypt that. So encryption is basically two types of encryption, which I will let you know. So whatever the S3 encryption, it is using encryption at rest. There is a encryption in rest as well as encryption in motion. Motion means whatever you are accessing your data which is traveling, okay, in transit basically. So encryption in rest and encryption in transit. So S3 encryption, which is stored your data, so that is encryption in rest, AES 256. Encryption in transit, for example, you access your URL in HTTP, as if you see here, there is a lock over here, right? If you click here and there is a certificate, you go here, so certificate authorized that, right? And it is encrypted using the TLS protocol. So earlier it used to be called SSL, now it is called TLS, Transport Layer Security Protocol. So TLS 1.2, TLS 1.1, TLS 1.3, these are the protocol which is, I'll show you in our next upcoming slides and this what are the different type of encryption and all. So this is a security feature which has to be enabled for encryption at rest, AES 256. Metadata is nothing. Metadata is what? Data about data. For example, you are storing a data, a file, right? So file has a name, file, maybe you want to say this file has any kind of data, you can add it to nomenclate it, right? Or sometime metadata also generate. For example, some server generate logs files, right? So logs file has a date, timestamp, many things, right? So all information about data, so information about data is called metadata. Okay, you take it like that. So that information it gives. Then there is a tag. So tag is, we can tag it as per your requirements. You want to tag anything for reporting purpose, you want to see it is public, right? Some kind of tag you can do so that you can later filter it out. So tagging, we can add it, okay, on this bucket. Object loop, I have not much used this. So maybe we can see, to enable the object loop, it must first be enabled at the bucket level. So I think maybe it is kind of filtering things which we can check. You can also read the AWS document to see what it is. Okay, so these are the things which are there inside this. Permission tab, we have just checked the public access permission we can enable. Okay, and select form. So basically these are the S3 that need to complex SQL impression. Okay, so some kind of record that you are pulling, right? So CSV is comma separated value, JSON, right? So these are the impressions using which it is available to show. Okay, I have not used this frankly, so we can check this further, but not relevant as of now at this stage of our tutorial. So we'll check this if required in the higher study. So I think I've covered all this. Anything which is left, let me go to review again. Okay, so open, we can download it, we can open it directly also from here, download as, make it public, and copy the path. So I think this covers your S3. So S3 we see, okay, so if you go back to the bucket, there are a few more tabs. Let's go with versioning. So versioning, we discussed it, right, in the theory, right? We can add a versioning where you can edit a notepad, right, or something, whatever you're uploading and editing, it will add all the version of that object. So that is good in terms of saving your data, right? By mistake delete or edit, right, by someone, you can retrieve your old version of data, right? Server access logging, you can log that data, whosoever is logging, deleting, whatever action, it will log that. Static website hosting, you can add a static website hosting. For example, you have a static web page. For example, I have uploaded a JPG image. Similarly, you can build a simple HTML page also. So you can enable this. That bucket will act as a static website hosting. The interesting feature to be used, which is very much used by the S3, static website hosting also. Object level logging, we can enable that also for object level instead of bucket level. And default encryption. So once we enable the encryption we enabled earlier, we were, where were we were inside the bucket and inside the object. So there also in the object property there is encryption which we enabled, but if you go to the bucket level also, you can enable the encryption at the bucket level as well. Okay, so default encryption, so whatever object will be there inside the bucket will be encrypted on this. So we can enable either at the object level or bucket level. Okay, then object look is there, and then tag is there, right? We can add a tagging. So if you click here, you can add, for example, if you see your tag is like department, right? So this object is for department HR, right? So you can tag it like that and save it. So this will be your tagging, it will be tagged for. So you can use this filter for anywhere as per your requirement. Transfer escalation is for secure transferring of your bucket file from one bucket to another. It's an enhanced feature which will be discussed in the solution architect course, which will be our next course. This is the basic, we'll discuss that. A good feature, events, it will generate the events, and request a page. Okay, so requester instead of the bucket owner will pay for the request and data transfers. If you see here, this is the new feature which I think they have added it. So you can access this bucket based on the page. So you can add the data and get leverage by paying the data, fees for that. So anyway, These are the details, and if you go back here to the permission which we checked, we are whatever we are checking right now, it is on not on object, it is on a bucket level. Okay, just mind that. So block public access. Okay, so if I'm trying to block it, it says that you can block it on the main web page where we did that in the past, right? Access control list, so we can control the bucket access, suppose anyone public access, right? Log delivery access, this can be controlled to the ACL access control list as well. We can create that. Any other AWS account which need the access to the bucket, we can add that account as well, right? And then we can control through the bucket policy. We can write the JSON policy and we can attach it. So any specific user permissions or servers, whosoever need to get access, we can attach a bucket policy. So IAM control policy, bucket policy, we can attach here. Okay, and there is a CORS configuration. This we will discuss in our enhanced classes. Okay, so CORS is for the S3 features. Okay, so just Google it and try to understand how the CORS works. So nothing too much discuss here. Okay, it is a cross region resource sharing. So if you are sharing your object across the region, right? For example, different region server need to be access it, right? So that we can do it here. And then if you see here management, so these are the life cycle. Life cycle is for example, you want we discussed it, right? You want this to be moved to some glacier after 30 days, right? Something like that, or infrequent access. So you can add a life cycle, or you want to delete this after 30 days, whatever content in this log files are there, you're storing it. So you can add a life cycle in that. Okay. So, and there are many options inside that: replication, analytics, metrics, not relevant much for this course. And then the access point, this is also not much relevant. Access point, we use this access point by accessing the S3 using the VPC, which will cover it, not relevant much here. So we'll focus on this as of now. I think we have covered more or less all the topics here related to S3. And then let's get ready. We'll move to the next slides. Okay, thank you, bye bye.